Daniel 6:22, the second part. In this video, I'd like to talk about the idiom of using the im preposition, meaning with the mem lamed lamed verb speaking, speaking with, which sounds a lot like an English expression rather than what we might be familiar with from Biblical Hebrew of normally using speaking to, using either the aleph mem resh, verbal root, or dalet bet resh. So let's look at another Aramaic example outside of the Bible of speaking with, so to speak. It's from the Targum to Jeremiah. This particular manuscript is from anywhere from 1500 to 1700 in the British Museum, and the text itself is sometime from the 2nd century. So let's zoom in and take a look at this text. In this edition, the Hebrew text is written first for every verse, and then immediately following it is the Aramaic translation. So I've placed a blue bar in the middle where you can see I've placed the Hebrew text in blue at the top, and it reads like this. Ebed-melech went out from the house of the king and said to the king, and then saying, the quotative infinitive there at the end. And then here we have the Aramaic text. Now, it's not the same as this would appear in the Aramaic we're familiar with from the Bible because this is, of course, several centuries later. It's a different dialect. It's interesting that Ebed-melech here is not a name, but it is actually the servant who is of the king. You can see that in the second and third purple words. But I'd like to highlight the mem lamed lamed verb with the preposition with. So whereas in the Hebrew, dalet bet resh is followed by an el preposition, and he spoke to. The translation that the Targum translator felt was most appropriate for this was mem lamed lamed with the preposition with, spoke with. So the Targum reads, and the servant of the king went out from the house of the king and spoke with the king, saying, with a quotative verb there at the end. So this was just an interesting quick dive into the Targum of Jeremiah. We return to the text of Daniel 6.